Today we have assembled in the area of Vishuddhi. In the Gita, Sri Krishna has described the area as Kshetra, and the one who knows the area is called as Kshetrajna. Yesterday I told you Jna Agya means the one to know on your central nervous system. So the one who is the knower of that area is the Kshetrajna. Today we are going to know about the Hamsa Chakra. That is the area of between the two eyebrows, brukutis, they are called. This one is placed at the base of the brain. Which is called as Murdha. And this part is the complete controller of the whole of the base of the brain. Again I say base of the brain. And that is a part of the Vishuddhi still. Which is an extremely important center as far as the human awareness is concerned. Because these two nadis, Ida and Pingala, before entering into Agya and crossing each other, part of them crosses over this chakra of Hamsa. So when the ego and superego develop in our brain and cover our limbic area, from both the sides the strands which are coming out of the Vishuddhi sit on them. So they also control these two institutions from outside. For example, it crosses like this, goes up like that from Hamsa, and then some strands. Then the others go up again and cross like this and form ego and superego. So from the back side, on top of them, these two strands go and sit. You all know that Hamsa Chakra gives you discretion. But still we do not understand what do we mean by discretion. The first and the foremost important center within us is the Muladhara Chakra. If we do not have the proper discretion about Muladhara Chakra, we get into wilderness, I should say, or we open the doors of hell for ourselves. As you know that only the Ida Nadi starts from the Muladhara. That means is the desire, power of desire within us starts from Muladhara. But it's not the mental, which is the Pingala Nadi, which starts from Muladhara. It starts higher. So to have a complete understanding about which child is crying, please take away the child. Yesterday again same thing happened. Now this is indiscreet. Continuing with the child all the time. Yesterday was the same thing. Immediately you should take out the child. In the meeting any child is crying, immediately take out the child. There's something wrong with the child. Immediately take out the child. Again it is discretion. So one thing one has to know that Muladhara Chakra cannot be controlled by our mental activity. But if you shift it to the mental activity, then the control over Muladhara is completely lost. Apart from whatever has happened in the West, Muladhara Chakra is all gone into the mental activity of human beings. It is so much discussed, talked, it is so much described, written down, so much read, so much put into our heads that it has become a mental activity. So Muladhara doesn't act spontaneously as it has to act. That's why there are problems that people cannot produce children. So many become impotent very early because it is used not by the power of desire but by mental activity. Shift. Now you see the light here. It's burning there because there is oil and there is a wick. It is burning. But instead of this oil, you put just water. Will it burn? It won't. Because water is not going to nourish. this light. So the more mental activity you have, your Muladhara gets spoiled and it becomes uncontrollable. But if it is left to your desire, so it becomes spontaneous. This is a fundamental principle that is missing in the Western thinking, I think. That whatever is spontaneous, they leave it to the mental activity. Wherever the mental activity is to be used, you should use mental activity, and wherever your desire and emotions are to be used, you must use your desire power. Also, it is spontaneous, though it should not be an obsession. Any obsession cannot be spontaneous. It just at a moment you have the desire. That's all. But all the time if it's in your mind, that means you are using water to have the fire. Same about the Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana is for creativity. Anything you can create. You can create a sari, you can create a beautiful design, pattern, you can create a beautiful art or anything. But as soon as you put it on a mental level, it's finished. Also in the West, too much discussion is about the art. This is not art, that is not art, this should have been like this, that should have been like this. I mean, its creativity is spontaneous. Whatever the artist wants to produce, let him produce. Who are you to judge and criticize? You cannot appreciate anything unless it is brought to the mental level. So now we have critics. And the artists are not spontaneous, they are afraid, they only think, what will the critics say? Even when I am writing the book, when I give it to some Sahajogis to read, they say, Mother, if you write like this, then they'll say like this. I said, let them say, who cares? So then a critic should criticize and say this is not all right, this is not an art because this is such, this is such. So the artists are finishing, art is finishing. Now what is left are critics. So now they don't know what to do with their profession, so they are criticizing each other. So we have only critics criticizing each other. But there is no art now. What to criticize? And art has to be now made into money. So the critics must certify. It's so man-oriented, the whole programming of these critics is, that it is never an art. They draw one line and say, now this is art, all right. If the critic says it's art, you have better accept it is an art. Now what is so artistic about a life? Then again mental, it's a lonely person standing there, this, that. It should be spontaneous. Why to describe an art? So the mental level is so alert and is all the time trying to see things according to certain norms. All these norms are created about something so spontaneous like sex, uh, like art. All bathroom culture is decided by the brain. Nothing is spontaneous. It's such a joke, I tell you. So people become artificial. Art becomes artificial. Your Muladhara becomes artificial. Because it's all now man-made. All the spontaneity is lost. If you see any art from any country, just watch. Why must you react to it? Just watch. As Sahajogis, you should just watch. And the whole thing will start flowing through. Now this Greek tragedy of romanticism. Then the romance of Romeo and Juliet. All is imaginary, is all mental. There is no spontaneity in it. And then you are accept only relationships when there is artificiality, even between husband and wife. Like the husband must bring a flower every day to the wife, show her a flower, as if she's a priest or something. And the wife must, I don't know what they do, all artificialities. And then he must say thank you 10 times to her. And she must say sorry to him 100 times. I mean, they are husband and wife, left and right side of a chariot. And then the men expect this should happen. Women expect this should happen. Men expect the women should be like men, and women expect men should be like women. Men are very particular about time, women are not. So women must be very particular about time, otherwise they think she's the worst person they have ever known. The woman is, say, more particular about her kitchen or maybe about her dress. So the man would get angry with her because she takes too much time to get ready. It's mutually so indiscreet that the relationship becomes absolutely absurd. There should be understanding that she is the left side and you are the right side, and both of you have to act according to your nature. On the contrary, you want to make somebody look so funny, because imagine a man becoming a woman and a woman becoming a man. You see, it's a joke. But that's what is happening. Whatever the men are supposed to do, they cannot do. Whatever women are supposed to do, they cannot do. Whatever the children are supposed to do, they do not do. For example, children in the West will go on asking, why? Who are they to ask why? What is their growth? What is their intelligence? What is their maturity? They cannot be treated like a judge sitting in the court. They are children. But when they come to Sahaja Yoga, they lose that discretion. First, before coming to Sahaja Yoga, the husband and wife quarrel all the time. Half steps are in the course and half outside. After Sahaja Yoga, they cling to each other so much like glued together. It's impossible. So much so that for the wife's sake they will leave Sahaja Yoga. They ruin each other like that. They're glued together. Before Sahaja Yoga, they neglect their children, don't bother. After Sahaja Yoga, they are glued to their children. Then nobody can say a word against the child. The child can go and hit anyone, you cannot say anything. They ruin the child. So the discretion is lost completely in relationships. Whether it is sex, whether it is creativity, whether it is family, anything. That's the part of the Hamsa Chakra. Then we come to the Nabhi Chakra. In Nabhi Chakra also, we do not understand that eating is not such an important thing. Doesn't matter if you don't eat your food today, what does it matter? It's very important, no? In Pune we had a puja, and we had Western children sitting there in the puja, and there were Indian children also. As usual, puja is always late. But it was in the evening, Sankrant Puja. So the children, Western children, got up at 8 o'clock, whether it's puja or anything, and all marched on for their dinner. It looked very bad. Indians couldn't understand, how can that be? But they had to have their dinner at 8. Supposing they don't eat their food at 8 o'clock, what will happen? Will they die? So in a way, we restrict children also by our own conditionings, and also we allow them to behave in a manner that they, as if they are very grown up, matured people. We are so enamored by our children, as if to get children is something great. Anybody can have children, what's so great about it? You have to look after children, it's alright. It doesn't mean that you should all the time dote upon them, think about them, worry about them, and nobody else. So if you have to enter into the limbic area, which is the Virata's place, which is the, I would say, from Vishuddhi to Hamsa, and then to your limbic area, into the Virata, then your interest must expand. So the other discretion should be that, am I only thinking of my child? Am I only thinking of my wife? Am I only thinking about them? Or I am worried about other children also. I am thinking about other children. I just tell you this because It's such a funny type of a concern we have. And you destroy your children also. By this kind of indiscreet concern. Like we had a school in India. And the children who stayed in Pune. I had my puja. I told them don't bring children because I knew these children are Western children. Not easy, they can't bear anything. But the children insisted and the teachers had to bring them. So the puja was over as usual, very late, about I think 11 o'clock in the night. And there was no transport. That's why I said don't bring them. So they had to get some sort of a truck because these days we were not getting petrol, we were having a very bad time. So they had to go on the truck. It reached there by about 2 o'clock. Some of the fathers were staying in my house. Next day they said, Mother, our right heart is catching. I said, what is that? Such cruelty. I said, what cruelty? The children reached at 2 o'clock in the school. So what? Right heart is catching. What attachments? Your children, if they reach at 2 o'clock, what does it matter? Why are you so much concerned about it? They are realized souls. There is God who is looking after them. Why are you so much worried about them? Leave them alone. Send them to Indian school. Then the mothers are sitting there. Teachers don't like it. No one likes it. They are just gone there. Mothers. No school allows such nonsense. But in Sahaja Yoga they think they have a right. What right have they got? Have they paid for the school? Have they done anything for the school? What right have they got to go and sit in the school? So the discretion should be, we have to bring up our children according to such culture. The first of the principles of Sahaja Yoga is fortitude. Sahaja Yoga is not meant for such dainty darlings. You have to be soldiers of Sahaja Yoga. Your children have to be the soldiers of Sahaja Yoga, not the dainty darlings. It's not meant for them. Though they are born realized, you are ruining them by making them dainty darlings. You have to rough it out. You have to make them sturdy. You have to give them self-respect. You have to give them dignity and a fortitude. Forbearance. So, this left nabi, right nabi, especially the left nabi, is a very big problem. where the woman has to be a Grahalakshmi and husband has not to be a Romeo, but a husband. He has to see how his wife behaves, correct her. That is his job, his duty. He should not shirk it. Grahalakshmi is the woman who should know that she has the great responsibility of creating a very great society of Sahaja. She is not an ordinary woman. How many women got their realization before? But in Sahaja Yoga, if you find the ladies, you'll hardly find very few who are really alert. Most of them are in trance condition. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They don't know much of cooking. You ask them anything, they don't know anything. You talk to them, you feel as if they have taken some sort of a drug. Nothing goes into their heads. Sometimes one feels it's better I do it myself. It's impossible. The alertness is gone. Because alertness that comes through your right side is wasted on nonsensical things. Attention is wasted on nonsensical things. That's why the housewives have lost that discretion to know that they have to be extremely alert and sensible and wise. They should know each and everything. It's not so. They just live in the air somewhere hanging, You don't know what to say to them, how to ask for anything, how to explain anything to them. It's an impossible situation. So that alertness has to be there in a housewife is an extremely important. So we have Fatima at a young age. She had these two sweet children who died in the war in Karbala. But a brave woman, the way she established the Shia system, her husband also died. And she did all that on her own. Living behind the parda, living behind the walls, she managed everything. We have had many such queens in our country. There was a 17-year-old widow who was the daughter-in-law of Shivaji. She fought with Aurangzeb and defeated him in our country. Tarabai. So many of them we have. But if you do not have the alertness, then you cannot be a Grahalakshmi. You cannot be a good mother. You cannot be a good wife. There's no slavery in it. They don't know even what pleases their husbands, how to create peace in the family, what to say when to say beautiful things and when to be strict. All this discretion is not there. Either they are shrews or they are slaves. So, Sahaja Yoga is meant for women who are alert, who are wise, who know everything about life. Even they don't know where are the chakras on the feet. Look at your mother, she is a woman. She knows so much. They don't know anything as to how Kundalini passes through these centers, what it does, what she is capable of. But the Kundalini itself is the feminine power. She knows each and everything about you, about her child. Many mothers don't know if the child is taking drugs or is behaving which way. Except for spoiling or beating, there's nothing in between. With discretion, the mothers can make these special children into something. That is my vision about them. But with their indiscretion, they can ruin these children completely. This is so important that our Hamsa should be all right, that we should be able to create a beautiful home, a peaceful home, not only for our family, but for all the other surgeries who come to our house. I don't know how it has come into the brains of Indian women. I don't know how. But if you have to please them, you have to just say, "Sister-in-law, will you cook this for me tomorrow?" That's it. Or if you say, "I'm coming for dinner or lunch," that's the best. They are very much pleased. Oh, just they'll start thinking, what am I going to cook? What does he like? They know about each and every person what he likes. It's not slavishness. If you want to please someone, it's not slavishness. The whole nature is there to please us. Is it a slavish thing to do? But another side of a woman is she is the Raja Lakshmi and the man who is the king. The discretion at that point is, are you dignified or not? We went to Japan once and they were treating us with great respect. Even in a village. Once we entered a shop because it was raining. So the villagers actually bowed to us. We didn't understand what's happening. And they gave us presents. So we asked ultimately the interpreter, why are they so humble before us? They said, because you belong to royal family. I said, no, we don't belong to royal family. How do they know? No. Because your hair are neat. Your daughter's hair are neat and shiny. And you don't go to hairdressers. Is it a sign? Is it a sign of royal family? Yes. That's how the royal family is. They don't put their head into the hands of somebody else. You were amazed at their reading. Imagine the Japanese thinking like that. So the discretion is that you have to be like a queen. And the husband has to be like a king. But not like the king who killed his 7 wives, but like a king who respects his wife. If you cannot respect your wife, you cannot be a surgeon. Respect is different from being romantically in love. I think then you don't respect. To respect your wife is a very important thing in surgery. For this, I would say the Indians are not so good. But also I know some of the Western people are also quite funny. Your dignity is reduced if you cannot respect your wife. Indians, especially in the North India, not in the South, they lack this, respect their wives. Also, they lack the discretion that a wife, if she is not respected, the children will not be respectful to her, and she is in charge of the children. But the most indiscreet thing about Navi is that you don't listen to your guru. 100 times you tell something to Saj Yogis, but still they will not listen to me. Still they will do as the fashion tells them or the norms that they have. Listening to your guru, as they say, as if is to obey the God Almighty. Whatever is said is to be accepted as a great blessing, as a great correction, and is to be followed, not to be just left out as it is. As you know, your mother is your guru and she is your mother. Also she is Mahamaya. Also she is Adishakti. And she is so gentle. And she is so kind. She says some things to you to correct you. So many lectures I have given of telling you what is important. But you should open your heart and surrender it fully to your Guru, then only you will mature, otherwise there's no way out. I'm sorry to say. I do not like anybody surrendering to me or touching my feet or falling at me. I don't understand that. I mean, I'm not conscious of it, not aware of it. Makes no difference to me. Even when you sing my Jai, I think that you are singing some Mataji Nirmala Devi's Jai in a third person. And sometimes I'm afraid I might say Jai with you. When you are singing Swagat Agat, I always think there's some Mataji Nirmala Devi Swagat song, they are singing somebody else. But for your goodness, for your ascent, for which you have come here, you have not come here just to waste your time, but to ascend. And for that, it is important that whatever I am saying, you have to obey implicitly. But I never say anything which will be uncomfortable for you. I never say you don't take your food or don't drink water, nothing of the kind. But out of laziness, people just don't do many things. Or, if not laziness, then just they do not know how important it is. Or else, they feel nervous. So the discretion is that Guru is Parabrahm, any Guru, Sadguru. But what about the Param Brahma itself, which is your Guru? I do not say things as hearty as the Gurus used to do it. I mean, if you read about them, you would be shocked. But whatever I say, every word, you must note is for your benevolence and for the benevolence of the whole world. And by not obeying that, you are not only spoiling your own chances, but the chances of the whole world. So you understand how important it is. If you are the disciple, if you are blessed by your Guru, all these things are written about them. But I say not only that you are my disciples, but you have got your realization. You are Sajogis. You got all the powers. You know each and everything. You are so special people. For such people, there should not be any difference of opinion. Because you know the same thing all the time. So there cannot be any fight. There cannot be any quarrel. There cannot be any argument. But the discretion should be that our Guru is a mother. She is very mild. She is very gentle. She is very kind. I know that. One day, my brother told me that what sort of a Guru you are. When my Guru was teaching me tabla, he used to break the tanpura on my head. And even one percussion I would make wrong, he would bring his hammer, and now I am going to break your nails. I said, there's no need to do all this. Not necessary in sadhu. Because they are self-disciplined. So there has to be the self-disciplination, as you can so call it, on the Hamsa, Chakra, which is the one which knows what is right, what is wrong, through which we work it out. Whatever is the right, that's all we do. Otherwise we don't do whatever is wrong.